Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Baseless Speculation, all the pop culture news and the research so you don't have to. I'm Joel.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Joel.
Now boys, what do you think is next for the Conjuring franchise? It's crazy that they can keep scamming from the grave.
Yeah. Well, that's like part of the
Absolutely.
scamming from the grave was their kind of whole thing.
Yeah, dude, that's true. That's a good
They're
point.
like, yeah, your kid's full of the demons
Oh,
from
yeah?
the grave. You should give me a lot of money.
I will.
Yeah, done deal.
Done deal.
Yeah. It is crazy, before we get into what's next for the Conjuring franchise, that it is a franchise at all. Like the first Conjuring movie I remember quite enjoying. It's fine.
think-
Second movie was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that you go like one movie, pretty good, sequel, pretty good, and then it's like 1 million movies and
Yeah.
we're gonna keep like
Odd for young and old.
it's become this grand universe because The Conjuring is not just The Conjuring, it's also The Nun, Annabelle, and as we discussed prior to recording, La Llorona. So
So there's two. All right.
yeah.
Look, we'll just lay out the baseline here
Good
so
idea.
that we know what the fuck is going on in
Good
the
idea,
Conjuring,
dude.
the Conjuring universe,
yeah,
which is
the
called.
CU.
the coup.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So it starts. So we got your Conjuring 1 to 4. The first 3 are out. First 2 directed by James Wan. Third one directed by some other guy.
Yeah.
Then that inspired the Conjuring 2 inspired spin-offs about The Nun.
Mm-hmm.
So you got The Nun and The Nun 2.
Yeah.
And the first Conjuring, the first mystery they deal with is the Annabelle doll, and that has a trilogy of films called Annabelle.
Yeah.
Because didn't they try and or didn't they do the sort of a Marvelication of it all? Which is
Yeah.
like
I mean, there's a
little Easter
Marvelification
eggs.
of
Yeah,
everything
yes,
all
yeah, I
the
think
time.
so, yeah.
But then on top of that, so that's the official Conjuring universe timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's years and stuff associated with it, which
Yeah.
I will not get into because
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you want to hear that Annabelle creation set in 1958? Is that good for you listeners?
No.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Is there something like? Oh, you've been saying. Yeah, it's like the Conjuring universe. I'm like movies.
Oh, you want the cult?
Yeah.
Conjuring
universe.
The Conjuring universe of movies.
Yeah.
The Conjuring universe.
So yeah, it's like the Conjuring universe movie franchise. The
Okay. Conjuring. There's something here.
Yeah.
There's something to be done.
And the other two
Yeah.
movies, and I don't know how they're connected because I have not seen them. Yeah. Curse of La Llorona or The Curse of the Weeping Woman in some markets.
Yeah.
And also a movie that I haven't even heard of, Wolves at the Door.
Wow. Now, which of these movies have you seen? Because I've seen Conjuring
Wolves at
1,
the Door's
2. I've seen 2 of the Annabelle movies.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
And-
Wolves at the Door, which is part of the Conjuring universe.
Is it about werewolves?
No, dude, it's about the murder of Sharon Tate.
What?
They shouldn't have done that.
Did the Warrens investigate that? Because I don't think that was supernatural. Unless you consider cults supernatural, which I don't. Well, it depends on what the cults are
adjacent.
doing, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cults often involve sort of ceremony and ritual.
okay.
Like Aleister Crowley, like he big cult guy.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
big
He was a
occult
wizard.
guy.
He was a wizard, so that's a good point. Or a warlock.
Okay, so I
perhaps.
think a big problem the critics had with Wolves at the Door is that it is allegedly nasty and morally bankrupt. And whilst it does have stellar performances and a genuinely terrifying story, it's largely let down by its maker's inability to understand that there are limits to what can and cannot be shown on screen when it comes to the retelling of real life murders.
What happens in that movie, dude?
I'm guessing it's
pretty just
probably
accurate to life. Like,
or like, instead of it just being the horrible things that people do,
yeah.
it's more like, well, the demon.
Yeah. Yeah, what supernatural element are they trying to imply that Charles Manson
Is one of
Okay,
them
is-
convincing demons?
Yeah.
Okay, so the detective that investigates this is Detective Clarkin, and that actor is reprising their role from Annabelle. So it's
awesome.
MCU shit.
That's awesome, dude.
Who's the actor? Anyone like good?
Eric Aladdin.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Street rat, dude. I think
He's the voice of Alias in Left 4 Dead 2.
I can't
wanna
eat that. I think that the first two Conjuring movies are pretty good, and I kind of remember liking one of the Annabelles that I've seen.
I've only seen the first Conjuring, and I was like, quite impressed by it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Conjuring
But
1
I
and
think-
2 rock.
Yeah.
They're the only, I have seen those. Conjuring Devil Made Me Do It is a piece of shit.
Well, it's because it's not. I mean, I don't like a possession movie. I'm not scared of a guy possessed by the devil.
Well, also,
Who cares?
I mean, when we get to, we can talk about it now, but the real life case for that is also like real loose than how
the Warrens
are
were
even involved.
Yeah.
Which I think is the same for Conjuring 2, but at least the Conjuring 2 is a good movie.
Yeah.
Conjuring 3 is like, it tries to do you can tell it's sort of trying to cash in on like our yearning for something like True Detective again.
Yeah.
Or even, Longlegs does the same thing, but does it way better, where it's like, ooh, it's a crime procedural, but
there's
oh my
something
God,
occult
it's,
happening. Yeah.
it's spooky.
Something spooky going on.
But in real life, what happened was there was this guy.
Yeah.
So fucking something Johnson. What was his name? Dick Johnson.
Ann Johnson? On Johnson? A. Johnson?
Yeah.
It's R-N-E. A-R-N-E.
But yeah, like.
He was accused of killing his landlord, Alan Bono.
Yeah. Oh, Bono.
Dude.
You too.
And at trial, Johnson attempted to plead not guilty by reason of demonic possession, but was unsuccessful with his plea.
Yeah.
And the Warrens were just kind of they
So
weighed in, right? Like
so the Warrens investigated his fiance's younger brother, who they were like, whoa, he's possessed by the devil. And then after that happened, then he was like, I'm gonna kill my landlord. The devil made me do it. And then the courts are like, no, it didn't.
That's very funny.
Rot in hell.
That's very funny.
I mean, look, do I feel bad that a landlord died? I can't say on this podcast.
Yeah. I think you can. I'm not stopping you, dude.
Yeah.
It's your
Well,
life.
let's find out about the guy who died.
Yeah.
Am I gonna speak ill
the
of
first
the
Conjuring?
dead?
I thought was good, very well done. But I think it's like half of it is all to do with like the performances.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I love Ron Livingston as like an actor. I don't know. Ever since like is it Office Space, I'm just like, I'll watch you do everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. He's good. He's got
entertaining to
he's got
watch.
a good face.
Plus, like the first two Conjurings do this. They do spooky ghost shit very well. Like I remember
the clapping.
The clapping in the first one is it's almost iconic. You could almost say. And even they do good stuff. Like I think a scene that really works in The Conjuring 2 is when they're attempting to chat with the ghost in the chair, but they're like, if we look at him, it won't work. So the camera's focused on the little kid, but you can just hear him talking, and you're like, nobody in the scene is looking at the chair, and I watching the movie, I'm not looking at the chair that the ghost is in, but I can hear it's spooky. It works.
Does it do like the Conjuring do that? Like at least the first two.
Yeah.
It's like you film a scene like the shots all set up. And maybe because they've been playing around with actual lighting and like the darkness and the shadows and all of that. So like say a good representation of this is like is it Heritage? Yeah, Heritage.
Yeah.
Where what's her name? The mum, because usually spoilers, I guess she's getting possessed.
Damn.
But she's in like a lot of scenes, and you only know that kind of if you turn up the brightness.
I see.
Of your TV, but like. Even if you don't, it's just it's slightly
Your brain
there, and it's
notices
really
it.
really
Yeah.
cool because it's really spooky,
Kinda like
and
in,
really scary. And I love that kind of what they can do there. But
What the fuck's his name?
Does The Conjuring do that? Like some of that, at least in the first two?
Conjuring has faces and stuff like The Exorcist.
And the Haunting of Hill House TV show.
Yeah.
That has faces in the background.
Yeah,
because the devil.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. No, I think in Haunting of Hill House, isn't it? The house is evil, full of black mold.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just black mold.
I like that Insidious flips the script. They're like, we live in a haunted house. Oh, no, it's our kids actually haunted.
Our kid's got a fucking ghost in it.
Fuck, we can't leave our kid.
One of the Annabelles, I think, is good too. It might be the one set.
It's Annabelle Creation is the good one.
Yeah. And
Which is the second
Yes,
one.
yeah, okay, that sounds right. Which is set in like an apartment block or something. Or like an apartment building. I remember being like, this is pretty good. This is
Because it's directed by the same guy who directed Shazam.
Whoa.
No, but more impressively, he also directed. I think he made a good horror movie. I mean, he made Until Dawn. That's really not helping his case. Fuck.
But
He made Lights Out, which is a pro-suicide film.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe it turns out he hasn't made a good movie except Annabelle Creation.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty good. Which is funny that it took is a haunted doll scary? I guess it depends on how you frame it. But it worked. And I've not seen any of the Nun movies, but I can't imagine.
I think
they're very
critically, and obviously film critics can get it wrong, but sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And the general consensus from film critics is that the first two Conjurings and the Annabelle we were just talking about are really good horror movies. The rest of the series is mixed to bad.
Yeah.
None being mixed.
Yeah. None 2 being bad.
None
probably.
2 being bad. The first Annabelle being mixed. The third Annabelle being bad, I think.
Yeah.
And
La Llorona and Wolves of...
we heard about Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves morally bankrupt.
Yeah.
But good performances.
That's crazy.
It has made me want to watch it.
Yeah, I wonder what they mean.
Also, The Devil Made Me Do It. The case where the landlord gets killed, did he deserve it? Maybe. He was being a piece of shit. Did he deserve to die? Hard to say.
Yeah.
But the reason that they use the devil defense is because the guy who did it, basically, there's people living in a house that are related.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're hanging out at one of their places of work, which their boss is also their landlord.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and my cousin, you say, like we're related. They don't give me exact details. I'm just trying to paint a picture here. We don't need a picture perfect.
Yeah,
it is.
Me and my relative. Okay, we are getting a picture perfect. Never mind. Fuck me, I guess.
No. It's not picture perfect. I'm just to rejig my memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's you.
Yeah.
Your fiance or wife or whatever, a partner.
Okay.
You're a sibling.
Okay.
Your sibling.
So my bro and my wife.
Yeah.
Chilling in a house.
And your wife's cousin,
Okay.
who is a child.
And my wife's cousin, who is
Kid cousin.
In real life, they were 9.
Yeah.
Okay. And then all right.
And you've gone to your wife's work, which is a bar.
Okay, and we go to a bar. Wife works there.
Wife works there.
With the boss.
So the
who
boss
is our landlord.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Tight.
I'm there.
The boss.
So we all know each other. It's weird that I'm like, well, you're paying me, and then I just pay you to live.
Yeah. And then your boss, her boss, buys everyone a big group lunch and then gets really drunk.
Okay.
Thanks, boss / landlord.
Nice.
Okay. Hey, landlord boss, maybe stop slamming back tequilas.
Yeah, you're gonna need
Then
to.
your wife
Yeah.
takes your sister and her
Okay.
baby cousin away
Mhm.
because she's like, oh no, this man's getting really drunk. There's gonna be trouble.
Yeah. The 9-year-old and my brother, who is of similar age, of bar drinking age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get out of here.
Han, probably take the child away from this very drunk boss landlord. And sister, I guess you go with. I'll hang out with the drunk boss.
But on the way out,
drunk boss, they're just gonna
grabs child.
Oh no,
bro.
What is he doing? Why
Drunk
is he
boss
doing
and
that?
refuses to let go.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like this when the boss is stabbed. It's described as 4 or 5 tremendous wounds.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
He grabs the 9-year-old. I would.
so-
Okay. I would probably push drunk man.
Yeah.
Okay,
boss.
so drunk man's like, let go.
Yeah.
Then everyone comes back and is like, whoa, like before they've tried to go get pizza, they come back to like break up the situation.
Dude, maybe stop grabbing a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And
It's a bad
then you,
Yeah.
growling like an animal, draw a 5-inch pocket knife and stab boss heaps.
Okay. It feels.
Yeah.
It needs to be a bit more to escalate to that point.
Yeah.
Unless I was genuinely possessed by a devil.
Fuck, dude. I love. So he's like, I was possessed by the devil, but Callahan, who was, I think, the judge or maybe the opposition, argued that no such defense could ever exist in a court of law. That's awesome. And it would be irrelative and unscientific.
Now, do we
yeah.
think he was possessed by the devil, or when he said in the back of the police cruiser, I need help because I've got a drinking problem, and then passed out for 20 to 25 minutes?
Yeah.
Which one do you think actually happened?
Oh, so the
stabber?
The guy who stabbed, so he sees drunk, okay. I'm also drunk as shit.
Yeah.
And I see the drunk boss landlord kind of assault my 9-year-old
cousin-in-law.
Yeah.
And okay, I can see how you would be like, get the fuck off, and then you stab.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Like,
But what about
especially
this?
if like again, I'm making now aspersions and assumptions.
Yeah.
Because like perhaps this might not have been the first time this landlord showed
exactly.
tendencies
He
to
seems
say,
like he's
grab a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Let's say.
But
So-
Lorraine Warren defended her work with the family, claiming that 6 priests who were involved in the incident at the time that the boy was possessed, and they said that the 6 priests, they agreed that the supernatural events were real. Obviously, there's no verification that these priests ever existed. But
wow. Also,
6
like,
priests.
yeah.
6 priests, they probably got a vested interest in the devil being real.
It's
hey?
really funny to be like, okay,
Okay.
1 priest isn't enough. I need
6.
like 6 to so they can check each other's work
Have
or
like
whatever.
I don't know. Have these priests never seen an alcoholic before?
Yeah, like what the fuck, dude? The Warrens were such scam artists. It's so fun. They were pieces of shit too. Ed Warren, I think after his death, somebody came out and was like, "Yeah, I was in a sexual relationship with him from when I was 15 years old." Of course, dude, because he was one of those guys that goes. He was like, the reason you gotta fucking fight the devil and that you're possessed is because you don't love Christ enough. Also,
yeah.
I'm a pedophile. You know, dude,
right.
they stunk. They
yeah,
stinky
so-
guys.
Cool.
On- Yeah, so Lorraine also was like, Anna got possessed because that kid was his fiance's brother or whatever was possessed.
Yeah.
And then Lorraine was like, I told him not to look the demon in the eye, but then he looked the demon in the eye and then he got possessed too.
Okay.
It makes
That
sense.
fiance is like, so that was someone in the bar, or was that another person whom?
Oh no, the
looked at the eyes a
the
while
fiance
back.
is the person who worked at the bar.
Yeah.
But the person that was originally possessed,
Yeah.
not there.
So yeah, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
the
Their name
person
was
wasn't-
David. Yeah.
Okay. They just weren't even there. It just happened to be like the boy fiance.
Yeah.
He just happened to look that guy in the eye one time.
Yeah.
And that's when the devil got in him.
Yeah.
And there he's like, well, devil make me drink and make me stab happy.
Well,
So-
I don't think he ever put those two together. I think it was
the drinking was actually got nothing to do with nothing, guys.
Dude, I'm reading quotes from there's a
I'm so fucking blackout drunk. I pass out for 25 minutes in the back of a cop car. But don't worry, nothing to do with nothing.
No, it's all about the devil, dude.
Yeah.
I'm reading about it. We'll get into this, the future for the Conjuring franchise.
Yeah, of
Obviously, the Warrens investigated some cases that have yet to have a film made about them. And the Snedeker house, which is a former funeral home, they said was infested with demons. There's a quote from an investigator named Benjamin Radford, and he said of Lorraine, "If she told me the sun would come up tomorrow morning, I'd get a second opinion." That fucking rocks, dude.
Can you please walk me through the exact scam of the Warrens? So a crime has happened.
also just
yeah.
quickly while we're talking about maybe morally bankrupt situations.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Just looking at the character names in The Devil Made Me Do It. Oh, they didn't change them.
Yeah.
And like the guy who did the murder got released from prison after 5 years. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, 40 years later, they're making a movie about how he was possessed by the devil. No, they didn't even hide that it was
But that's
him.
funny because that was his case. He probably can't come out and because he's like, yeah, that was what he argued in court, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he
could
came
just
out and he was
point to
like-
the film, and be like, see?
Yeah,
See?
exactly. But he couldn't come out and be like, this film is inaccurate because they'd be like, isn't that what you were saying?
Yeah, but I
So
think
he's got to be
100%
like,
accurate.
fucking, finally, someone's telling the true story. You know what happened? But the Warren scam was like
Yeah,
so
so-
many other. So
Because I'm just like, because again, scam mostly for like, I'm guessing it's for fame, profit, and money.
yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, okay.
Well, they've published 1 million books.
Well,
Okay.
so that's basically how it
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you look at any occult investigator and a lot of cryptozoologists too in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and to this very day. And what happens?
for all the times.
What happens is that there's some case with an easy explanation. It's like a combination of you're doing like the fake psychic thing where. Like a lot of the families that dealt with shit in these cases, it's like they just had like people had drinking problems, like in The Devil Made Me Do It, or they were dealing with mental health issues or whatever. But the Warrens hear about it and they come in and they go, obviously this is a scam or it's fake or they've misunderstood something, but they go, whoa, what the fuck? Your house is full of ghosts. Ed Warren starts writing a book and Lorraine Warren moves into the house and fucking publicizes it in the news. Oh, these, paranormal investigators, they're investigating this thing. So they get the fame, and then they release the book afterward. Like the Amityville Horror, which is like a very famous one. I'm pretty sure it was a hoax. I don't think it ever happened.
Well, yeah, that was so we
I'm 99%
It is crazy
sure.
though, like all those like very famous like sort of big spooky things.
Yeah.
And like this case like Amityville for one, isn't it? And I watched something recently about, I think it was like the guy from a country who never existed.
Yeah.
And he had like a passport and they put him in a hotel.
The Man of Torred, which is from a short story.
Yeah, and it was just it's just lie.
Yeah.
It was just well, not even a lie. It was like
Absolutely.
You trace it back and it was just a complete and utter.
Like it was literally a short story published in a magazine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
There was something else, which was like it was a connection of like it was a diplomat saying something about something.
Yeah,
and it was just like then it was just all people making weird extrapolations, and like the countries were like all very like completely changed, and it was a very it's an interesting case of just like I guess an old case of telephone.
Yeah,
and it just kind of was just blown out to be like, oh yeah, this thing that definitely happened. But you're like, well, if you look at this, there's actually no firsthand sources here.
I mean, you find this, hey, if you're subscribed to the Bad Brain Boys and you listen to a podcast that is exclusive to subscribers called Jackson Bailey Spooks America, where every episode, twice a month, I talk about a spooky thing from history or sometimes just a funny thing from history.
Yeah.
The amount of times you find a case, me and Adam did one, friend of the show, Adam Cannavale, on the Owl Man recently, right?
Yeah.
And you go, oh my God, the Owl Man. And as a guy who has a sort of amateur interest in cryptozoology and has purchased many books, over the past about cryptids, the Owl Man turns up again and again and again in these books. Oh my God, the Owl Man. Who was the Owl Man? Then you look in, you actually do the research and you go, okay, once in the 1970s, a failed magician said that 2 girls told him they saw an Owl Man.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome.
That's all there's ever been. But it gets reprinted, and that's the scam. It's the same with the Warrens.
Okay.
Somebody says, oh, I think there's a ghost, and the Warrens go, that's fucking 200 pages and a lucrative book deal. And I think it's also worth remembering that there was a period of time in the 70s and the sort of late 60s and early 80s where this was like the main... Like it was so popular to write a book about ghosts or about cryptids or about UFOs. Like you could make a career out of it.
Well... I'm glad we're talking about this because we originally started this episode because The Conjuring Lost Rights, which is coming out later this year, doesn't have a trailer yet, and there's not that much information about it at the moment, except that it is going to be the thrilling conclusion of the Conjuring universe, and that The Conjuring 3 sets up an epic conclusion. It doesn't, but yeah, I'm upset I watched that movie. Because I was like, The Conjuring, I'll defend The Conjuring.
Yeah, of course, Conjuring 1 and 2 are good.
But God, The Conjuring, the devil made me do it sucks assholes.
Yeah,
and
damn,
so
dude.
what? So the
So anyway,
thrilling conclusion that The Conjuring 3
the thrilling conclusion
huff and assholes
that I always thought they were going to build to was, even though it doesn't make sense timeline-wise, if they just ended with the Amityville Horror.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you don't want to start your franchise like that because it's a remake. But if it's characters you already have built around, Patrick Wilson and Vera
Vera something.
is right in front of me.
Yeah.
Vera Farmiga.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, we know them. It's Ed and Lorraine. And then at the end, you're like, it's Amityville Horror. And you could just call it, like, I don't know, The Conjuring, whatever. And
Yeah,
people are like,
Oh my
God.
God.
Sorry, I did a burp because the devil made me do it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so build towards that because that's like their big famous case. But no, they're doing the Smurl haunting.
The Smurl haunting.
And the
Smurl haunting.
The Smurl haunting has this awesome thing, which is so between not allegedly, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Between 1974 and 1989, a demon lived in their home.
Well, it threw their dog into a wall. Damn.
Anyway,
dude.
at one point, the Smurls are like, so they bring the Warrens in. The Warrens like, wow, this is a really dangerous demon.
It's crazy.
We're gonna pray and play religious music. And then someone wrote on the mirror, get out. And they were like, damn. Anyway,
Okay.
they do that. There's a lot of publicity. And then the Smurl family are like, oh, we're so sick of all these people coming to our house. So their next move is to publish a book with the Warrens called The Haunting, which is famous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Been made into a movie and a TV show before.
And I'm guessing, like, they get a bit of a, the Warrens will get a certain percentage. The Smurls will get another percentage.
Fucking Smurls.
That's nice.
The fucking
Jack and Janet Smurl.
I really like that demons or devils, whatever you want to call these little guys. I like that they, adhere to sort of like property boundaries.
Yeah.
Like if you're the neighbor, you're like, whew,
yeah, thank God,
dodged a bullet there.
Shit's going down at the Smurl residence, but I'm fine.
I'm pretty sure that's a plot point of The Conjuring 2.
Yeah,
That's great.
But then it sticks to a house.
Or does it follow the family because they go stay at a different house? The Enfields.
Yeah, well, because hey, if you know your shit, poltergeists are attached to people. Ghosts are attached to houses.
Yeah.
So I think
and Insidious.
Yes.
And demons and devils
aren't real. Ghosts and poltergeists are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the line I
that's the
draw.
thing. It's not the demon didn't make you do it. The ghost made you do it.
Well,
They were so
no,
close.
you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
The house wasn't haunted. The guy was the poltergeist made
me do it.
Guys,
Yeah.
think.
I know it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is this because this is meant to be the thrilling conclusion of the Conjuring?
Well-
Is it going to include Annabelle and the nun?
I'm guessing that.
Yeah.
So, like,
Mm-hmm.
they with the Smurl haunting again because it's like the late 80s at this point.
Yeah.
The Warrens had to really step up the game, so they're throwing a lot of this is the most powerful demon we've ever
course.
seen.
Of course. dude.
And because the alleged big finale to The Conjuring 3 that builds towards it is that it's kind of building towards that, I guess, hell and demons and shit hate the Warrens.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're trying more and more to take them out.
if you'll recall, in the first Conjuring movie, Lorraine Warren keeps having these flashbacks to an exorcism they did.
Yeah.
Where she got possessed by a devil, possibly the nun devil. I don't really remember.
No, that's in The Conjuring 2, and yes.
But isn't even in the first one she's having flashbacks to it? I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, the nun devil, she is possessed by the nun devil in The Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Because it's scary because that nun's just everywhere.
Yeah.
But then in the third one, the devil gives Ed a heart attack.
Got him.
God is ass, dude.
Yeah. So basically the opening of the film is the Warrens doing an exorcism on that little boy that in real life. So again, all real names.
Yeah.
I do love that, in these supernatural.
And then Ed has a heart attack during the exorcism, but as he's passing out from the heart attack, he sees the devil go into on.
The devil made me do it.
The devil's gonna make him do it, but then he's fine.
Okay.
But then it ends with Then it ends with they take the cup, which is the evil thing in this movie.
Sure.
Evil cup, yeah.
And then they put it in their spook room.
Yes.
I do love
Next to the Annabelle doll and the Varlock painting, which is the painting of the nun.
Nun ghoul. Yeah.
I love
So-
my spook room.
Yeah.
All three of the horrible spooks are in one room.
Oh no, dude.
I sure hope that the Smurls don't move into that room.
I do really like with these horror films where it's the devil. It's supernatural. And so it's just they either got it out for the Warren, so we're going to send a heart attack.
Yeah, I know.
It's a similar kind of vibe to, I think, Final Destination, where it's these motherfuckers skipped, they didn't die when they were meant to.
Yeah.
I'm going to set up an elaborate Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
So I can squish this person's head with weights.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
How
got
dare
him
he
good.
not get got in my crack?
You're not going to believe this, but the most recent Final Destination sort of explains why that happens.
Is death a bit bored? Is he just kind of loves it?
It's sort of the whole point with Final Destination deaths is that when people skip death, it means they're aware of death and the death is coming for
So
them.
they need to give it to in a tricky way.
So death has to kind of sneak up on them. Sure, a heart attack would still sneak up on them, but
mate, hey, look, devils, brain aneurysm. Guys,
Yeah, that'll do
come
it.
on.
well, again, Final Destination, except it's cancer.
Yeah.
Death in Final Destination in the newest Final Destination has given a character cancer because
That's
they keep
awesome.
avoiding that Rube
that
Goldberg. So
rocks.
death just gives up. It's fuck it, cancer.
I'm reading.
Dodge this idiot.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Oh, no, don't do chemo.
Yeah.
No.
No. She gets so. This isn't spoilers because it's the setup for the movie.
Yeah.
But basically, it turns out that the entire Final Destination franchise is happening because in the 50s, there's a restaurant. They do one of those Skyline restaurant things.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the people on there has a vision of everyone on there dying. Like, the whole thing goes
classic
down.
Final Destination, yeah.
But then it turns out that everyone in the Final Destination franchise
is connected to that.
Is part of the family trees connected to people
That's
that were
very
out.
funny.
So death is like, none of these family trees are meant to exist. So he's like trying to prune the branches.
Okay,
That's kinda cool.
And the one person who had the vision at the first Final Destination is dying of cancer because she kind of figured out. She got like Final Destination brain. She's like, oh, okay, death comes to you in all these ways.
Yeah.
So then she pretty much just built a bunker, and then all of a sudden she got cancer. She's like, you sneaky motherfucker.
That's
Death.
great.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
fun.
kinda
Final
cool,
Destination's good.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of them. Again, I like that kind of. It's very sort of dark in a weird way, where it's just like the family tree. No, none of this
you're
is
not
good.
meant to be.
None of this is good.
You
Stop
gotta
it.
stop this.
Stop it.
I'm reading about the Smurl haunting.
Yeah.
Spokespeople from the Roman Catholic Church, the Diocese of Scranton, said they were unsure what might be causing the disturbances. A theology professor said there's probably less demonic explanations. Like, it's awesome. You read these things and everybody other than the Warrens is like, it's probably not demons.
Well, the Enfield one is so funny because like there's like, oh, look at these horrible photos of this little girl floating above her bed, and then you put all three next to each other. It's like, oh, they just took photos of her jumping on her bed.
Yeah. And it's extremely clear that she's just jumping on the bed.
But I have a kind of a bit of a swing for the fence here.
Okay, please.
Only seeing one Conjuring is that I'm guessing as is the big finale of the Conjuring universe film franchise, movie franchise. Sorry, the Kampf, is that this Schmerl demon is responsible for airy cheek.
I mean, it would be a crazy finale if it turns out that this isn't a demon. It's the devil, like capital D.
Oh yeah, capital
It
D
is
devil.
Satan.
It is Satan.
It is Lucifer himself.
Yeah. It's the morning star.
Because it's fun. It's very funny as well. Like, you can't. How do you escalate, really?
Yeah.
Like, how do
Well,
you?
you just the trick, and it's a trick that people, if it's done well, is good.
Yeah.
The Final Destination example I just gave. But if it's done bad, pretty much any DCU situation.
Yeah.
People love when you tie shit together, but if you fuck it up, people hate it.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
gotta do it so well, otherwise
you gotta be
I'm
planning
angry.
for it, I think.
Yeah, you got to be really good and be like, oh yeah, this was actually like, we've set this up from the very beginning.
Yeah.
This I feel like it hasn't been.
Absolutely
and they're gonna
not.
shoehorn the shit
They did
out
not
of it.
expect to get this many movies out of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
No, so I reckon there's going to be like, the big reveal or whatever is like the holy shit. Actually, this is this is the demon that actually possessed the fucker that made him kill his landlord. Or or like this is a demon, or like this is a demon that told his demon underling to go and possess. Like he's orchestrating it all.
He's
because,
the puppet master.
Yeah. And they're all about trying to kill the Warrens.
Yeah, and
they did all these to attract the Warrens because they kept trying to be like, we're gonna fucking get him.
I think they'll throw in
and we're
like
so crafty. We avoided your bullshit.
You know, like the classic thing in hell is like you have like dukes and princes. And I think they'll be like, this demon, the Smurl demon, is like the prince of hell, and the three other demons that we've dealt with are his underlings. So he's been sending them out to get us. But finally, there'll probably be a scene where they're investigating the Smurl haunting, and they'll be like, wait, he wanted us to come here.
Yeah, like, wait a second. This is by design.
It's a trap for the Warrens. Do you think they'll address his pedophilia in this movie?
I don't think so.
You don't reckon?
That's
interesting to me.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It turns
You don't
out.
think-
Oh yeah.
Judith Penny will come in. There'll be a post-credit scene in 2017 where Judith Penny claimed that she had a 40-year sexual relationship with Ed starting when she was 15.
Forced her to have an abortion. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon that'll happen in the movie?
I think that'll be kind of a bummer. But it would be crazy if they end the franchise with ghosts aren't real. I'm just a pedophile.
Or what if they try and end the movie with like ghosts are real and they made me do it. They're the reason.
The devil made me do
The
it.
devil couldn't kill me, so it made me a pedophile.
The devil gave me a heart attack, which retroactively made me a pedophile.
Yeah.
Which I think, if you go timeline wise, that's already taken place.
Yeah. So retroactively made
Retroactively in the past made him a.
So I saw the devil 10 years into the future.
Yeah.
And then 10 years in the past, it made me a pedophile.
I think that's going to be an incredible performance from Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think
very
he's got the
impressive.
chops.
He's got the chops to pull it off, I reckon.
Hey, do you know what I just found out? And I find this very funny because it's kind of just like the slop version of it.
Yeah.
The Nun is the highest grossing entry in the entire franchise.
What the fuck?
People fucking went crazy for the Nun.
Oh, she's spooky looking.
Yeah, she is spooky looking. That's
And
true.
like, I want to go get spooked. I like look around. I see a poster. I'm like, oh,
Oh, yeah, the nun.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll go
All
see
right.
that. I'm a bit spooked already.
And also, I guess because the Conjuring movies did that thing where they were like, "Who is this nun?"
yeah.
Who the fuck done Nun?
And it seems like
Nun.
it's an important part. So you're like,
Who
"Oh,
is
that'll
the
answer
nun?
the question." But clearly, because there's two,
Oh
it
yeah,
probably
because
doesn't.
it's of course, I forgot.
It's like
yeah.
an origin of the nun.
Yeah, it's like who's the Nun?
Yeah, like, oh my god, spooky.
Or why is the Nun bad?
Yeah.
Maybe she was just a nun.
It's funny that I think Annabelle 2, yeah, maybe she was just a nun.
Nuns are scary.
Nuns are scary. That's true.
Mm.
Annabelle, the second one, because she breaks out of the Warrens' spooky museum in one of the Conjuring movies.
Yeah.
And then I think the Annabelle movie, maybe that's Annabelle 2, is like, what's she up to now that she's out? What's she doing?
So I think
Because one is the origin of Annabelle, which from memory, it doesn't really give.
no. So Annabelle. So there's Annabelle Creation, and Annabelle Comes Home, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Annabelle is set after The Conjuring, where Annabelle goes missing.
Okay.
Annabelle Creation, which is the good one, is the
Yes.
origin of Annabelle.
Okay.
And then Annabelle Comes Home is when you're not going to believe this. Annabelle Comes Home.
Whoa.
What?
Because the Warrens are in Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh, I see.
Who? What? Okay. Annabelle is the little doll
That's
been
the
possessed.
fucked up
Yeah,
doll
yeah, yeah.
from the start
Do you
of the first
know?
Conjuring.
Do we know like how? Like what's possessed the doll?
Well, Annabelle
Could it
is
be a
also
Schmuel demon?
Annabelle is the first case that the Warrens took
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah. But I'm saying, do we know in the movie, in the franchise?
A doll maker named Samuel Mullins and his wife Esther grieve for the loss of their 7-year-old daughter Annabelle, nicknamed B, who dies when she accidentally steps in front of a car.
Okay, is that the true story or is that the Conjuring story?
This is the Conjuring story.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll try and find the real story.
Not only because I'm just wondering because this could they, again, are they going to shoehorn like I don't know.
It is a demon. It is a demon.
Are they going to make a
Like, for
real life
example?
tragedy a devil?
Yes.
Well, they already might have done that.
They've done that heaps.
So, like, for example, a scene, I don't know if this happened in, say, the Annabelle franchise, but you see, like, you know, a little girl about to walk onto the streets, and then, like, you hear the car crash or whatever, people screaming, right? If that is a scene in, like, Annabelle, and maybe they revisit the scene in this, but maybe it's a little like the focal point is a little bit further up in the bushes over there. There's a Smurl demon beckoning the girl in front of
Welcome back.
Yeah, to come to the walk in front of the car because I know if I do this, your parents are going to make a doll, and then I'm going to get that that upstanding citizen.
I'm going to turn him into a
Yeah,
pedophile.
and then I'll turn him into a pedophile
yes.
because that's my plan as the devil.
That's my sneaky plan.
I'm a sneaky devil.
I just tried because I know I've seen Annabelle Creation and I was like, how does it? And reading through the plot synopsis,
No bells rung.
I don't really get. It's not. I mean, I would probably have to watch the movie again.
Why she's in the doll?
Well, yeah, because it seems like she isn't in the doll, but she can become the doll.
She dies.
Who?
The girl.
girl.
Yeah, but then
So is the
there's a
little girl
demon
at-
all of a sudden.
Yeah. Is a little girl in the doll,
Or is it a
the demon in
situation
the
where,
doll?
or is it the classic horror movie thing where it's like, oh my God, it's our little girl, but then it's not the little girl. It's been a demon the whole time, and the little girl's in heaven.
Yeah.
Or hell, if it was a bad little girl.
Yeah.
Well, apparently 12 years later, there's a new family, and they move into the house, and then one of them opens a door, and Annabelle the doll is in there, but that releases a demon. So I don't know, dude.
Dude, all I know is I gotta watch the Annabelle movies.
Yeah.
For some reason I haven't seen them. Anyway, the real life Annabelle, which is what you were asking.
Yeah.
A nursing student in Connecticut was given the doll in 1970.
Thanks
The
for the
nurse
doll.
said, wow, this doll's weird.
Oh, yuck, I hate this doll.
And the specifics, however, are mixed.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Some say that the nursing student, Donna, said, oh, the doll lifted its arms when it was placed on the kitchen table. And then others have said, oh, the doll walked around the apartment. And then when you open the door, it would just be standing there waiting for you with a frozen smile. And then allegedly Donna, the medical student, took the doll to a psychic medium, and the psychic medium's like, damn,
Doll's haunted.
This doll has the spirit of a deceased 6-year-old girl named Annabelle.
Yeah.
And then the medical student and her housemates are like, well, let's try and look after this little girl. But then the doll exhibited malicious and frightening behavior.
Okay.
But then in 1987, the Warrens were giving
of course.
Yeah.
a lecture.
Oh, yeah.
And they were
A
like,
lecture, you say?
let's delve
Paid lecture?
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
where they were delving into the Annabelle case. They claimed the doll had the tendency to give. So you've heard what has been reported relatively, not firsthand because people don't really remember what the fuck's going on. But basically, it's like, oh, Annabelle would maybe move by itself.
Yeah, like just literally like the most basic haunted doll shit.
You know how, okay, you're a med student. I'm assuming you live in a share house with other med students. You know, it's like hours are pretty grueling, probably sleep deprived. You know,
and you love drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. But you're dealing with, a lot of stuff.
70s.
Right?
You're
fucking. You're fucking, you're doing all that.
I got heaps of bush.
Oh, dude, your bush is luscious.
My bush is lit.
Everyone's bush is luscious.
Yeah.
And like, say, you're very sleep deprived, but like, there's not a lot of fun happening because you're dealing with, people dying often. And so you're like, well, someone's got a little fucked up thought. What if we start doing like a little prank around the house, little share house prank? Yeah. Move a doll every now and again. Just something harmless like that.
Just a bit of
fun.
And
that's it. Say, someone gets a bit of a jump scare, a bit of spook, and that kind of is maybe where it all originates from.
Absolutely.
And suddenly that starts snowballing.
That starts snowballing because somebody reports it, and then somebody puts it in a book.
At a bar, you overhear them talking about like, you hear like, maybe the second half of conversation, where they're talking about like, oh yeah, so I put the doll in like blah blah blah, and then or even Jane opened the door and she's like, oh, I got a spook because the doll moved, and they overhear the doll moved.
Oh
and
my
they tell someone else, and then it just keeps going and going.
Or
and going.
even like the doll appears to move by itself, and the med student is like, I gotta tell someone, and reports it somewhere. And then her friends are like, oh no, we were just fucking with you. And she's like, well, I'm not going to admit that.
Yeah.
Well, they gave basically.
And then people, you just move on with your life.
Deprived. Yeah. Like, I think something's gone wrong with my brain.
Yeah,
it's a Raggedy Ann doll. They gave it to the Warrens straight after the part of the story I said. But then the Warrens, in their lecture, they say, this doll, it loves to give psychic slashes to people it doesn't like, drawing blood as if she had used a knife. It threw a priest across the room.
Not a priest. Only one?
Yeah.
Not 6?
Not 6 priests?
And then, sorry. It didn't throw a priest across the room. A priest threw it across the room, claiming.
That's not notable.
So wait, but this is the notable part. A priest throws Annabelle across the room and declared, "No doll is stronger than God." Only to run into a tree with his car on the way home and die.
God. The doll got him.
Well, look, no doll is stronger than God, but a tree is stronger than a car.
Well, Ed, famous pedophile Ed Warren said, no doll or demon is stronger than God. That's true. But a demon is stronger than a man or a priest. And then the doll.
I didn't say a demon is stronger than a car.
Yeah.
And then the doll also, and this is all
playing the trees.
This is all part of the same lecture. It's also like, also a homicide detective was forced into early retirement because Annabelle stabbed him. Dude, I don't think Annabelle did any of this.
It's crazy that paranormal, like, this grift still exists today. Have you ever heard of the missing 411? So there's a guy named David Paulides, right? And he releases these.
Did he invent the Paulides?
Yeah, he did. The inventor of Paulides. And he released these extremely expensive books called The Missing 411. And they're about mysterious disappearances in national parks. Okay. And you see this shit gets shared online. People are like, people go missing in national parks all the time. It's very mysterious. And that's because of this motherfucker, David Paulides, who charges $700 for a book or some shit. And in it, he's like,
$700 a book.
He's like, there's a mysterious number of people who go missing in national parks, somehow ignoring the fact that people go missing in the woods all the time because
it's the woods.
It's the fucking woods, dude.
No one lived there. There's no paths.
There's this incredibly famous case about this kid that went missing, right? And it's like he disappeared from his he was away from his family for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden they turn around and where was he? We don't know what's going on. And a family, 10 miles away, they said they saw a little boy or they heard a little boy scream, and also the National Guard was called in. So like, what were they covering up? We don't know what happened to the kid. But then there's this YouTuber I like called The Missing Enigma, and he did an episode on it, and he's like, there are like 10 reports about a white van taking a kid and rushing out of the park at the time. It's just, the kid just got kidnapped. That's all it is. But because there's this bumper industry where you can go in and say,
I don't know.
Maybe Bigfoot's stealing children. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, dude, I've actually been reading some stuff. It sounds like maybe the Warrens didn't know shit and it was just Bigfoot stealing children.
Maybe Bigfoot's stealing kids. I don't know. Why are people going missing in national parks?
Probably Bigfoot's.
Probably Bigfoot is stealing them. Not people are fucking like, wait, I'm lost. Oh, now I'm dead. Which is just.
Or, oh no, I've gotten kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Because maybe a famous pedophile.
Yeah, exactly. Ed Warren was in the national park at the time.
Driving his van.
It's just so ridiculous. I don't actually think
The dead can't sue for libel, can they?
No,
thank
which is
God.
useful.
Yeah.
It's useful. David Paulides is alive, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see him come for me.
Yeah. Yeah. To prove that I have smeared your name, you need to prove that the devil is real.
Yeah, exactly.
And he'll be like, no, that's not how courts work in Australia. You need to prove what you said is true.
Yeah.
I don't need to prove jack shit.
Fuck. I'm in trouble.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
Oh
if you're
no.
in trouble, I'm in trouble.
Well, I don't think I think I
The
said.
company, I think, has a lawyer.
Well, what did I said he has released expensive books full of bullshit.
Yeah.
But I'm not the only guy saying that.
Are you the only guy saying it to an audience, though?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Yeah, you're safe.
Don't
So I
worry,
think
dude.
you're saying he's making like, $700 of a book of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's like opinion as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not really
Yeah,
viable.
I think what he's saying is
if we were to say something
Yeah.
like say someone else's whatever, but like with Ed Warren to be like,
Yeah.
hey, pedophile.
Yeah.
Like that's true.
And then
because
people
that's a
might
thing that
say,
happened.
hey, that's not true. And I'll say, okay, he was a pedophile for 3 years and then he was a groomer.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I guess he was a groomer.
Groomer / pedophile.
Yeah, well, he's a groomer, but I guess before because I guess they would have met before she was 15.
Yeah.
So he was a groomer
Presumably.
before
Well, not
that.
necessarily. He could have.
Oh, that's true. He could have met the.
He could have assaulted a child on their first
he
meeting.
might have
That's
met her
true.
at the front of a high school.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
true.
You don't know.
So yeah. I don't know if you can become a pedophile then a groomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go groomer first.
Yeah, I guess it's groomer
Even if it is like
pedophile.
even if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess it's groomer / pedophile and then just groomer.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they become of
Well, you kind of
age.
both.
Yeah.
You kind of both. You
Yeah.
kind of both. You don't lose pedophile.
I think yeah. Once a
That's for
pedophile,
life.
always a pedophile. And I'll say that about Ed Warren until I die.
Yeah. We all will.
I wonder
Yeah.
what the feedback to that claim was, because it doesn't seem like that anyone denied it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody was alive to deny it, unfortunately.
No, Lorraine was alive when these claims were made.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, but I think also from what I'm gathering, is Lorraine knew about this from like the sentence
Yeah.
JD
JD
said
said,
moments ago.
So
which was,
it's kind of no surprise
forced her
she's
to have an abortion. Was that
kept
right?
mom on the whole subject.
Yeah, and also Lorraine had it written into her contract for the Conjuring films that she and Ed could not be portrayed engaging in extramarital affairs or engaging in crimes like sex with a minor. That seems like a strange. Like, if I was worried about someone making
Yeah,
a
if somebody
movie
was
about,
making a baseless speculation in the movie.
I wouldn't need to
Yeah.
put.
I
would-
yeah.
Hey, don't make me fuck kids.
Yeah. Hey, famous director. Okay, can you just as a clause?
Yeah, I just have one
You just, like,
stipulation,
can you just put
okay?
in, with myself,
I don't know.
Jack, and JD. If
Yeah.
you can make a show about this, make a movie about the podcast, that's great. We love it.
That's
We'll have it
amazing.
happen. But
Yeah,
if
thank
could
you
just
so
please,
much.
Any extramarital affairs, especially sex with
With
minors,
minors,
can we just
yeah.
if you creatively think that it might need that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Mr. One,
Because it didn't happen.
yeah, if you're, I don't know what your
didn't.
plan is for the movie, but if you show me having sex with a child, like if that's what you were thinking about doing,
I wouldn't.
I might write it in my contract, don't do that. If that's
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah, I don't think like there's
For no reason.
There's no reason why you should have that as a thought.
Yeah.
but just in case,
Just in
like
case you do. I don't know.
creatively you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say probably nah.
Probably nah.
Probably nah. Probably don't show that.
Yucky.
Probably don't show me doing that.
Yeah.
That would really change the tone of the movies,
Yeah, I think
though.
it would.
Yeah,
Do you think that was James Wan's initial like?
Yeah,
plan?
like anyway, so they're gonna be haunted by this Annabelle doll, and then in the next scene, Ed's gonna go fuck a kid.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah.
oh, actually, maybe don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It is kind of funny how much. I mean, I guess the Conjuring universe movies don't work unless you really like hook on the fact that
Yeah.
the Warrens are
But it's funny because I think they're kind of the weakest part of the movies in a weird way. I think what the spookiest scenes in The Conjuring 2 are when it's that little British child just being haunted. Like that's scary. And The Conjuring 1 is the same. Yeah. When it's the family just being harassed by a ghost, it's scary. Yeah. When the Warrens turn up, I think actually the movie's
because it's not kind of because it is still, but because like they sort of like they have more of a grasp of what's happening. Yeah. So it becomes almost like an action movie against ghosts.
Yeah. It becomes almost, there's like a superhero movie quality to it even, where it's like,
we're here and we're going to be fighting for our lives.
Defeat the ghosts in this house using our magic powers rather than just like a straight spooky haunting movie, which is funny. It's funny that the Warrens sort of like I'm not invested in the fact that Lorraine was possessed once.
Yeah, I guess they're like trying to like mythify themselves.
Absolutely,
through this as well. Which
I think they even in the first
really any sort of like potential bad reputation that they might have, like after say Ed died and it all came out. Yeah. Really like maybe a film franchise to kind of like revitalize and really just
absolutely. Well, it's funny because it's the same thing that their books did. They're just doing again with the movies.
Yeah,
from the grave.
Yeah. Do you think maybe like
what killed Ed?
Ed Warren was just like, I have all these like horrible things I have done. So I'll just make up shit about ghosts. Yeah, because then everyone will be like, I'll talk about the ghosts. So I'll be like, hey, Mr. Ed Warren, I hear that you're attracted to children. And he'll be like, have you heard about the spooking?
I'm fighting the devil with the power of Christ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice try,
so about
that, hang on, the devil of the, wait, so you're fighting ghosts, are you? Yeah. And so maybe just
would a man with a haunted doll fuck a child? I don't think so. Okay, I don't think so, buddy.
Well, you put it like
would
that.
Would a man with a haunted doll and a magic cup and a magic painting fuck a child?
I think not.
I doubt it.
That'd be impossible.
Okay. One man could not simply have this many things happening in their lives.
I have a whole haunted museum. You think I have time to fuck a kid?
Exactly. With a man with a whole haunted museum, think about all the hauntings I deal with. What time do I...
When do I have the chance?
When do I have the chance or opportunity to prey on a child?
I'd love to be fucking kids, okay? Yeah. But there's demons to be vanquishing.
You know what? Don't quote me on that, actually.
Look, if I had the opportunity, yes.
Who
if I had the time, of course. But I barely have enough time to make love to my disgusting adult wife.
I gotta maintain my haunted museum. You tell me when I'm fucking a kid. Okay.
Please tell me on this timeline, because I'd love to fit into my schedule if I could.
Yeah, between the Amityville Horror, the Smool haunting, the Enfield Poltergeist.
You know how many children I could have been preying on?
None of these hauntings happened in a high school.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish they did.
I wish that would be great for me.
Yeah.
But maybe some of them happened near high schools.
And yes, the Enfield haunting involved children. But I didn't fuck any of them.
You can prove.
Ed,
now,
please stop.
We're going to have to fix up our contracts for the movies, Ed, I think. It's funny that, 1997, New England Skeptic Society are like, let's investigate the Warrens.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Someone should.
Their reports find that the
He's a pedophile.
No, well, it's actually the opposite sort of. Well, not the opposite.
Yeah.
I would say usually not associated.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, the couple are pleasant people, but their claims of demons and ghosts are at best meaningless ghost stories, and at worst, they're dangerous frauds.
Yeah.
They found their videos, looked at all the evidence that the Warrens gave them, and they said, it's all blarney. They found common errors with flash photography and nothing evil in the artifacts that the Warrens had collected. They have a ton of stories about evidence that got away. They're not doing good scientific investigation. They have a predetermined conclusion, which they adhere to literally and religiously.
I do like the idea of like, send us your artifacts. This isn't evil at all. Like pick it up like, I don't
this
know.
is just a cup.
Dice.
Where's the evil?
Pick up a cup. Oh, it's just
a cup, dude.
What if I drink out of this?
Yeah, what the hell?
Nothing happened. Strange.
Yeah, man. It's truly one of the oldest grifts, you know?
Yeah, man.
Because people would like to believe in ghosts.
Crazy, man. People just want to be grifted.
So if people love being grifted. So if you go, you go, you're getting haunted by a ghost. People go, oh, fuck, what do I got?
I guess I understand ghosts. Like, I get ghosts. But if someone's like, you have black mold and that's making you see things and go a bit crazy, I'm like, but ghosts, though.
But ghosts is an easier explanation and costs me less.
Yeah. Because I understand ghosts.
Yeah.
black mold means I gotta like, maybe do something.
Yeah, I probably got to get some kind of special, like, like guys to come and fix it, and then
deal with all
probably
the
got to go
black
see a doctor and shit, and
probably take some medication.
Yeah.
And also with like all the black mold, then I gotta like figure out like not only do I get rid of then I gotta like do shit to the house.
Yeah.
That's gonna be costly.
Exactly.
But
But
ghosts though, I can write a book and make money.
yeah, exactly. You just need Lorraine Warren to come in and do an exorcism.
Yeah.
And you go, great, I'm good, dude.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And you just keep
You reckon
huffing
they
the black
could've,
mold.
Yeah, got to that point where we're like, hey, you call up the Warrens, you're like, hello, hi, I have black mold, but look, you just want to like say, you don't have to come over. You can just say you came over.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And
Absolutely.
Like, you want to do this? Or we can just do that.
You could do that today.
Yeah.
With people that aren't the Warrens. There's
Nice.
probably hotlines, dude.
Yeah.
I was reading this article about this website where you can get shampoo that will help you win the lottery. So fucking
Okay, so what I need you to do right now
yeah.
is find a link to that
Okay.
and send it to our good friend Cass.
Yeah, dude. That's so dangerous. There's like
Yeah.
floor cleaner that'll get you a promotion at your next job.
Shampoo that'll help you win the
Yeah, let me
lottery.
find the thing, okay?
Don't do that. Don't.
It's an American website, so yeah,
I
dude.
guess people really want to believe in
Yeah,
anything
well,
to get by.
you know,
It's just like, I don't know.
Are you
is it
sure?
like-
I can't find.
let me find it for you.
It's kind of like, I don't know. It's a life is chaos and it's random and it's all chance.
No.
And the idea that
No, there's signs everywhere, Johnson.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like the idea that you could win the lottery really has nothing to do with anything. It's just like it just happens to be, someone needs to have maybe picked the right numbers and just on this one time it was you. So well done. Here's the money. But like no one wants to hear that. No one wants to be like it's all just random and chaos. There's no method or like rhyme or reason. It's
I
just,
like that. Things
Yeah.
just happen.
Things
Who
just
cares?
happen,
Yeah,
whatever.
dude.
But people don't. People are like, no, it's got to be a supernatural reason.
And that's
We
where
have
the
to have it.
Warrens
That's
come
better.
and fuck your kid.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
People forget we're just apes in cars. you
Yeah,
know?
we are just apes in cars.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's all
dude.
we are, dude. You don't look at a chimpanzee and I think a chimpanzee is noticing patterns in our life or whatever. Or it's a classic thing where it's like, well, human beings evolved to be able to recognize patterns to help us survive, and now people are like, the chemtrails are controlling my every
If
move.
everything
that red
happens-
and yellow cars keep following
I'm being
me
gang stalked, I think.
everywhere.
No, you're just ape brain is constantly looking for predators. That's all that's happening.
I do like the idea that everything happens for a reason, because that means that we were always meant to be podcasters and our audience was always meant to get sucked into listening to this.
Yeah, that is funny.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
No, just kidding. We didn't even get you.
Yeah.
Destiny did, allegedly.
But then Destiny got us, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck, I could have
fuck.
worked at a bank.
Yeah, dude.
The dream job.
Well, I can't find. Look, I'll find that. I'll do better research and I'll find that scam website and send it to you. Dude,
Yeah,
because
sweet.
It's,
Please do.
it's worth a read.
Thanks,
But
Yeah, I've figured out the connection between.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two movies that aren't really included in the Conjuring universe, but are in the Conjuring universe, which is funny. So
Yeah.
I think the only distinction I can find is that The Curse of the Weeping Woman and Wolves at the Door don't feature the Warrens.
yeah,
It's nothing to do with the things Warrens have touched, but Wolf at the Door features the detective that investigates
Yep.
something, and The Curse of the Weeping Woman features the priest that investigates Annabelle.
Okay.
clearly at some point there was this massive expansion of the Conjuring franchise where they
Yeah.
were like, we can just include
Yeah.
for that extra boost in viewers, any horror movie we're making.
Yeah.
Just get a cast member from one of the other Conjuring movies, chuck them in. You'll get some more bums in seats. And then I think they were like, okay, no one cares about the Conjuring movies anymore. Let's bring it back into stuff that's more closely associated with it.
Like they did that. It was like, I don't think it mattered.
Yeah, I don't think it helped, actually. Our movies will stick and morally reprehensible. or whatever.
But at the top of the episode, you were like, I don't understand why they made this into a franchise.
Yeah.
But I kind of get it. It's that kind of thing where you're like, when it came out, Marvel had done hey, we did it. We cracked that code. So everyone had, everyone wanted to crack at it.
Yeah.
And spooky horror stuff, I get it. There's a long history of that.
Yeah.
Is it Abbott and Costello
Wolfman
fighting?
meets Frankenstein
Yeah.
and
Oh, that too? I was like,
beats the shit out of Dracula or whatever.
Yeah,
Was it Abbott and Costello, those
Yeah,
were
they
comedy
met- they
duo.
met
They
the
keep meeting all
monsters
the
and shit.
monsters. And so it's
The monsters just meet the monsters as well.
Yeah.
Godzilla,
Yeah.
he's meeting all the other monsters.
It's
So what's
honestly-
going on? Godzilla v Dracula. Has this happened?
It fucking should, dude.
Good.
Well, the Conjuring universe is the highest grossing horror franchise in history.
It's honestly pretty impressive they managed to do a connected universe universe.
Because, like, again,
so many other ones failed at it, so you got to give them props.
Well,
because Paranormal Activity, like that was just like sequels, but it was all very much.
Sequels and then one
weird
spin-off. The best one, I think.
Yeah, I know.
I think the third one's the best one.
I love the marked. Is it called the marked ones?
Yes.
It's funny as hell.
But I get it because you're like,
do you reckon they're happy to hear that?
No, it's intentional. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen the marked ones.
The marked ones it's like a complete inversion of the entire Paranormal Activity franchise in a way that's awesome. Like, you know, at the end of every Paranormal Activity, they're like, the demon has got us and we're fucked. We need to run. In this one, the guys are like, let's get our cousins and a bunch of guns. And then
let's go and beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's how it. And then they go and they try and they're like, we got to fight these witches, dude. It's genuinely, it's so fucking good, dude. I love
That's
it.
a great way to, like, have your cake and eat it too. To have your franchise, be like, and let's just flip it around. So everyone's big, like, man, everyone's always the same. We're all scared about demons. Da 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 da. Same universe. Let's flip it.
Yeah.
It starts off spooky action.
Yeah, it rocks. It's genuinely. I thought it was a really good movie.
I got to check it out.
I think the appeal of doing a franchise with spooky shit.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the list of highest grossing horror movie franchises is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 20 on the list is Beetlejuice.
I guess that's a franchise.
There's two movies.
Oh,
well, the more
and a cartoon, good point.
No. So this counts as a franchise because it's got two movies.
Oh, okay.
Are we calling like sequels franchises now?
Apparently.
I suppose so.
That seems okay.
It's not how I would have done it.
I would say a franchise is more like, like
I think you need
a spin-off.
You need
one
at least you need one spin-off or you need 4 movies. Then I think you can call yourself a franchise.
I think 3. A trilogy makes it a franchise to me.
I don't know, because I think to me, it's just a trilogy.
Yeah, but a trilogy of movies is still a movie franchise.
I guess.
Like, I'm not saying.
I guess if you can include like video games and TV shows and art and books and shit.
Or it counts as a franchise if there's more than one movie and they've done other shit.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I'll cop that.
Yeah.
What about toys? If they make what if they make 2 movies and an action figure line?
No. But if they make 2 movies and a cartoon, sure.
You're going to be pissed off to hear that It is the 4th highest grossing horror movie franchise ever.
That's so funny. But It, I reckon, gets a pass because there's remake. It's a remake. Because there was I think that's okay. Because then it's a franchise you can return to. I think that
they're returning to it. They're making a TV series.
Yeah, Welcome to Derry or whatever, based on one chapter in the book, which is pretty funny.
Now,
and
see, to me,
same clown,
dude.
Once the TV series hits, I'm like, it's a franchise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just remaking a movie.
Okay, what about
a trilogy where each film isn't the same cast? Like if it's like an anthology series,
that
could be a
counts.
franchise.
That's fair.
What about the film franchise I Am Legend?
The one movie?
Well, it's here listed as 2, but I don't know what.
Sorry. And then the remake.
The Omega Man counts as part of that franchise.
I mean, no. You have the. Well, I guess it's based on a book.
Yeah.
To my own definition, it's a franchise.
And you said it's a remake, so it counts or whatever.
I don't think a remake counts.
That's
personally.
my belief. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the deleted or the alternate ending of I Am Legend, where you're like, oh, that actually makes sense and is better now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, which is the ending of the book too.
Yeah,
yeah, and like it gives the zombie who's screaming and gives him like more of a reason of why he keeps following the butterfly motive that keeps popping up in the movie that still exists. I think
it is
and
very
the sequel
funny.
they're making follows the alternative ending.
Yeah,
well, because you can't.
Okay,
is the sequel got Will Smith in it?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Wait, they're not following the alternate ending because he dies in the alternate ending.
I thought he died in the actual ending.
No.
Yeah, he dies in the actual ending, doesn't he? Yeah,
he blows himself up in the actual ending.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those, it's like, because it's 2007, it's like they've gone for the gritty ending and not just giving the body back in.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he does anyway.
Yeah, I'm fairly
sure. He survived in the theatrical one and he died in the alternate version.
I'll find out. You keep looking at franchises. I'll go on.
Yeah, no, because he becomes a legend because he explodes. Yeah.
That's the reason. No, he becomes a legend because he keeps killing all the zombies that have made society.
Neville then kills both himself and the attacking Dark Seekers with the grenade, saving the cure. The following day, Anna and Ethan are at the camp survivals and they're like, wow, he killed himself and he saved the cure. He is no longer a man. He is I Am Legend.
Yeah. Okay, that was the bad ending.
Yeah.
That was stupid. Yeah. As opposed to just being like, oh, he wants zombie, he wife.
Yeah. There's an awesome interview with Will Smith recently where he just talked about all of the franchises that he fumbled. And it's really cool.
He said no to The Matrix. He said no to
Django Unchained and
Inception. Yeah.
And in the Inception one, he was like, yeah, man, those movies don't do well.
Yeah,
movies with alternate realities.
I didn't understand this. Fuck that.
Will Smith, what? It's good.
It's also funny to say that because, like, The Matrix, your big fumble prior to this, is one of the most influential movies ever made.
It's really funny.
And that's an alternative reality as well.
I love to think that every movie, he made a bunch of flops. That was him being like, I gotta fucking take a chance.
Yeah, maybe this is The Matrix.
Omega Man, maybe this is
The Matrix. Was it Sean Connery that
he
was
said
like
no to Gandalf?
No, okay. Well, who was like, I'm gonna say no. Wasn't it also to The Matrix, or might have been something else?
No, Will Smith said no to The Matrix.
Yeah,
I thought it was Sean Connery was like no to something because he didn't understand the script or whatever. He was like, I don't fucking get this, and then he's like, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comes out. He's like, I'll do that, I guess, because maybe that'll be the next The Matrix.
No, people are screaming at you. It was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He turned down Gandalf, and then he saw Lord of the Rings make all the money in the world. And League of Extraordinary Gentlemen had a similar vibe in the script, and he was like, well, I'll do this because I don't get it, but people love it.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Will Smith, what are you up to?
He released that rap song recently that everyone's like, this is bad. But then I saw somebody be like, actually, it just needs to be slowed down or sped up. And they were very right. Then it became good. I preferred the slowed down version to the sped up version.
Whoa.
But they were on the money, dude. They were on the money.
You're a big chopped and screwed head.
Yeah.
It's very funny to be like, it's good.
It's just like, it's actually not, it just needs to be.
It's just off somehow.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just, that's it. There you go. There you go. It's just,
it is a sort of weird song because in it, he's kind of being like, it's called Pretty Girls, and he's like rapping about how he likes pretty girls. And what's nice is that all the girls in the music video are like about his age. You're like, that's good stuff. Good. But then also like the lyrics are basically him being like, I'll be a sugar daddy if you want.
Oh, that's not as good.
But like, I guess that's like, honestly, any rap song could have been about that. It's just funny that it's Will Smith.
Where's the general public standing now with Will?
Well, okay.
I think they're embarrassed by him.
Yeah, so last year he released it up. So this will be his second album in 2 years.
How long ago has it been since he slapped
Chris Rock?
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
2022.
Yeah.
It's been a while, eh?
It's been a bit.
And he's only appeared in 2 movies that have been released since then.
Yeah, well, because he got banned and whatnot, and everyone's like, you need to chill. And is he still married?
I
don't know. I couldn't say.
Because everyone's like, you and your wife have an interesting
It's very strange. It's very strange, Will Smith. You don't seem happy.
You don't seem happy.
You don't seem well.
You see, like did she fucked your kid's friend or something?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, she fucked your son's best friend.
Yeah, but that was cool though because you're in an open relationship.
And I don't know if this is true, but like then you went on a talk show to talk about it.
Her talk show.
And she was like, yeah, I'm fucking my son's best friend. And Will Smith was like, seemed like he was about to cry.
Yeah.
Okay, so since he hit Chris Rock, he was in Emancipation, which looks like a huge Oscar bait movie, but critics did not fall for it and said, this is bad, actually.
That's funny.
He did Bad Boys Ride or Die, which is Bad Boys 4, which made
a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it made a lot of money. I think it looks like it was going to make a lot of money and then didn't have a...
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it made money, but I think...
It didn't have, like, a long tail. It was just kind of like...
when you think made money, it had a budget of $100 million.
Yeah.
What are you imagining it made?
Over $200 million at the very least.
Yeah. Okay, so when you heard it... So prior to me saying any of this, I said... You were like, Bad Boys 4 made money. Yeah. And I said, yeah, it did make money. It had a budget of $100 million.
Yeah.
What are you thinking it made?
I'm guessing.
Based on the vibe of what people are saying.
Okay. At least like 500 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like,
again,
it made 400.
Okay.
Yeah,
so, like, you know what I mean? Like, it made money.
Yeah.
Made money. That's good.
Yeah, doubled its, like, because of the marketing. So, double. Well, hey, it made 200 mil.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, like, it's not.
In a year of stinkers.
Yeah. Well, actually, where did it?
I feel like it came out at the same time as something else that did quite well.
And or like in a year of like other films doing like very bad when we really wanted to do well. Like I think
respectable.
Did it come out at the same time as Furiosa? And you're like, nah.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, I guess people just don't want to go to the movies. Oh, damn it. No, people want to go to the movies.
Bad Boys Ride or Die was the 17th highest grossing movie of last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just beat Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Twisters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it ends with Us. But unfortunately, YOLO Pegasus 2 successor They all Beetlejuice.
YOLO
Pegasus.
Pegasus 2 successor.
Nice
Was that one
Pegasus.
movie
No, that
or
was three movies. And also, I shouldn't have picked those because none of those had
They didn't have a theatrical release?
well, no, I mean they did. Otherwise, they can't have a box office. They are not American films.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Bad Boy, it did worse than Beetlejuice.
Yeah, damn.
Okay.
By
And how
50
are his
million.
albums doing?
Really bad.
Yes.
So he made Based on a True Story, which came out last year.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "This is truly embarrassing."
I think I
and
heard
bad
some songs
music.
from that, and it was pretty bad.
It was his first album in two decades. On Metacritic, it has a score of 40 out of 100.
That's not a passing
No,
grade.
that's bad.
No, and also music is one of those things where
No.
it's really kind of hard to release something that gets, because like if you release something bad, people usually don't review it
Yeah.
because like
Whatever. Just
Yeah,
There's
flood
so
the
much
site up.
music.
Who cares? Next thing, I want to listen to something
Yeah.
good.
yeah, but because he's Will Smith,
We
people
have-
did listen, but then
yeah.
people were like, "Huh, okay,
Yeah.
you had no reason to make
Well,
this."
I think it's weird because Will Smith, when he was a rapper back in the day, he had like a sort of a squeaky clean sort of, maybe not
Yeah.
squeaky clean, but like, you know,
Mm.
there was like a kind of like a
Well, yeah, he did.
something, yeah, I guess a cleanliness to his
Well,
his
he didn't say
rap.
fuck or shit.
Yeah, like
or
he wouldn't swear. He wouldn't,
Oh, he might have said asshole.
yeah,
but he wouldn't have said "show me your asshole."
no.
Never.
And so, and that's kind of like maybe it just it's weird when you're like a 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know if the world.
Like I feel,
I don't know,
He
it's just-
released albums that, like, as a white boy, your mother and father would be
Yes.
fine with
Yeah.
you buying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think also
And
the
I feel like maybe the climate's just changed since the
Yeah.
80s.
I mean, also it's worth noting that like he's just done some like it's just all sad
Yeah.
because like the music video for it is him playing Neo in the Matrix.
That's weird.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you fumbled
that's
that. That would
really
be like
sad, dude. That'd be like if Sean Connery was
Yeah.
in his music video was playing Gandalf. or a
Oh,
vague
dude,
wizard.
Sean Connery rapping.
But then yeah, the whole
That'd
album
be
is
awesome.
really like, hey, let me back, please. I want to come back. But he was like, hey, it's my most personal, impactful work.
Okay.
The central message of the album is dance in your darkest moments.
Some of the lyrics in Pretty Girls are
Oh,
very weird
bro.
too. Like,
See a therapist. Yeah.
you don't gotta wait in line tonight. You too fine for the line tonight. 5 + 5, you a dime tonight. It's a full house. Better play your cards right. I'ma post your pic if you pose. Make one call, you in Vogue. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Hold up, wait, pose. I'm about to do some investing. I spend it
yeah.
on you and your bestie.
Oh,
you and
yeah.
your twin on a jet ski. I'll
Okay.
change your life if you let me. Just like very, I don't know. It's just sort of weird and also kind of sad for you're like, hey, like, you know, another rapper might be
Wait,
like, fuck me
what
because
song-
I.
Yeah.
what
It's
song was
given,
that?
Pretty Girls. It's one of his most recent ones.
Who was it? Jim Carrey was like, "Hey, I just want to work with." Who was it? And like a young actress.
Yeah.
And basically being like, she's just real hot.
Yeah.
And everyone was like,
I don't know if you can be. Come on, man.
Jim, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Give me that kind of vibe.
The Independent says Will Smith's CD new single "Pretty Girls" sounds like a cry for help.
It did
It
sound like a
does.
cry for help.
It's pretty bad.
It's kind of like, yeah.
I think it's also really fucked up in the age of like you know, Me Too and stuff like that to be like, hey, if you fuck me, I can get you in Vogue.
Yeah.
That's like literally the thing that
Is he on the
we were
cover?
like, we gotta
of,
stop.
Is the cover for this single like, you know, I don't know, a close up of like, I don't know, $100 just poking out of his zipper
No,
or
the
something?
cover of the single is
Like-
Will Smith doing fake binoculars with his
Apparently, the
hands.
music video keeps making reference to blurred lines, which is a big no-no.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's
Like-
very strange.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
He says
Just a lot of why?
Yeah.
there's a lyric: vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and lemon. All right, fuck it. I like women.
Oh yeah. Are you okay?
I
Will?
think, like, again, like,
No.
I
Yeah.
there is
it's
rappers that could like just drop
Pull this
that,
off, yeah.
like pull that line off and it's fine. Not 56-year-old Will Smith, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately for
just
him,
feels
this
a bit
song has a sad
sad.
vanilla,
desperation.
chocolate, strawberry, lemon. All right, fuck it. I like women. That sounds like a Drake line.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
In fact,
Is it a Drake line? I don't think so.
but it's very similar to like some lyrics
Yeah.
on Take Care.
it just feels like, yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
The weekend,
Yeah.
probably not clever enough for the weekend.
or not kind of like horny enough for the weekend.
All right,
almost.
fuck it. I like women and I'm jacking off.
yeah.
There's a very sad energy to this, and I'm a little depressed of hearing this.
It is really funny that the first verse is him being like, I have money, so fuck me for that. And then the second verse is he's like, any woman. Any woman, dude.
I ain't talking. Oh, wait, this line? I ain't talking about just the pretty you see.
Yeah. There's
but
a
the
lot of
pretty
women.
You be.
Yeah. It's very funny. It's just any woman. Please fuck me. Will Smith. What an
The music
embarrassing.
video is him dancing around giant women.
Yeah, but the giant women seem at least slightly age appropriate, so you got to give him props for that. I mean, you don't have to.
Anyway, I can't remember why we're talking about Will Smith, but the Warrens are pieces of shit, and Will Smith makes us sad.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, let's jump to the BS Boys email. You can email us. I got a hair in my mouth. You can email us at bsboyspod@gmail.com. And I've got the emails right.
Email us in. Like,
here.
who is currently making you sad?
Yeah, what
in their
celebrity
career?
depresses you the most? Okay.
And do you think that baseless speculation will inevitably get in legal trouble?
Yeah.
As in the last 6 months, we've really ramped up things we've been saying.
Speaking of maybe other things that might, well, it may not get into trouble here, but other famous pedophiles.
Yes.
I recently found out that is it Kevin Spacey just keeps doing his like Frank Underwood character
dude.
every year.
Do you not know that?
I knew that.
didn't
I
know.
knew
You
he did
didn't
it
know.
once.
You didn't
I
know
knew
about
he
Let
did
Me
it-
Be Frank.
No.
Oh!
I knew that he had done that one video of him doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the first year it all came out, and he's like, bro, that's sad.
No,
and then
it's a yearly tradition.
It has never like come up.
And do you know what
again.
day that he releases them? Christmas Day, bitch.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from your favorite pedophile or groomer or groomer slash pedophile.
Both, I'm pretty sure.
I think both. I think both.
Yeah. Well, hey, I guess you can't really work with Bryan Singer and not be at least one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got an official YouTube channel.
That's yeah, YouTube. Yeah, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Only recently found out about that. So, wow. He also depresses me.
Yeah. He's a good one. He's a
Yeah.
good one. To
Sorry, he
depress
only
you.
did it. He only did it 3 years in a row. Let me be frank, and then
Well, apparently he did an
He did an
interview
interview.
with
This-
Tucker
Yeah,
Carlson.
Yeah.
As Frank,
As
but they
Frank.
couldn't call him Frank. I
But he
think-
was clearly
but he was
clearly doing
maybe
Frank.
maybe a Netflix rights thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's it's really
good
awesome.
stuff. Good stuff.
It's really awesome, dude.
I live in this world. Repercussions, consequences.
They are real.
They are
hey, I'm
real.
just reading this Variety article. Jared Leto's sexual misconduct allegations.
what?
Accused,
Jared Leto.
accused by 9 women. Well, at least that means that our famous Tron pedophile episode probably won't get us in trouble.
Hang
Yes.
on, women.
True. People famously hate those.
Yeah. Well,
you
not
think
just
it's
that.
a-
Women means like they're of age at least.
Oh, that's just not girls.
Yeah.
Um,
Although when.
Okay, do we think that this is a good sign for Jared Leto?
Yeah.
1 week ago,
Oh yeah.
Jared Leto's rep denies claims of inappropriate relationships with women. 5 days ago, Jared Leto accused of sexual misconduct by 9 women. Do you think that when you're...
This feels like a warrant contract. Yeah. Hey, if you're going to make claims about me, you got to make sure.
I like that it's... Yeah, I just like that it's like his rep is like, we're getting ahead of this.
Yeah.
No. And then like a couple of days later, just immediately washed with, well, you had a crack, Jared Leto, and I hope you die.
Hopefully in prison.
Yes.
Me too, dude.
Hopefully
Me
we
too.
find out all the nasty shit you've probably done in that little cult island.
Yeah.
Well,
God.
speaking of people who depress us, here's the
Yes.
first email from Ryan. Hi, BS Boys. If Sean Levy emailed you and said he really wants to appear on your podcast to try to get the 3 of you to like him, would you say yes? Thank
Yes.
you, Ryan. Of
Yes.
course. Of course.
Of course.
I would be in any movie.
Like, okay. Like, once again, he seems like he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he's a very friendly, nice person that would make being on the set seems like it might be a blast.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Adam Sandler, where it's like, hey, he doesn't make good films. Sometimes he makes great films,
Yeah.
but often he makes dog shit. But a lot of them are often just like, I want to go on holiday.
Yes, yeah,
And so you're
absolutely.
like, hey, your films aren't great, but you seem like you are a nice person. At least.
Yeah.
And I feel like I guess the same with Sean Levy, where
Yeah.
I'm like, he seems like a lovely guy. He seems like he
Sure.
gets along with these, the
Yeah.
actors. The actors are like, hey, you're a friend. I'll come over and I will actually be in your film for either nothing or whatever. I'm around, sure. So he seems like at least he's
Seems like
personable.
yeah, for sure.
Unless there's some other, like maybe allegations or
Great question.
If there's anything there, you made a face, JD. Like I'm concerned. What I'm saying
About
Sean Levy.
No, I think he's fine.
Okay, that's good.
I was more looking at because when I made the claim I'd be in any movie, and then I was trying to remember who made those fucked up movies that have like Gina Carrera. It's funny because when people successfully get canceled, they do just leave my brain. The one from Star Wars. And how Daily Wire. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, they keep making bad.
Anyway, I would have been in that Hunter Biden movie for pretty much no money. But also, like, Matt Walsh made all those depressing gotcha documentaries where he's like,
depressing.
Yeah, but like apparently like people that were around it were like, yeah, it was like everyone was really aware, except for maybe like 2 times. Everyone was super aware of what he was doing, and he had to just like really either like plead with them or like
that's funny.
Yeah.
We'd have anyone on the show too.
Yeah.
To be able to call Jared Leto a pedophile to his face. Imagine
I wonder what would happen.
I think he'd probably get up and leave. Well, he'd give that really confused. He'd give us the same look he gave that person who was a VTuber.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "What? Are you really saying this to me?" And then he'd get up and leave.
But then like what happens? Because we're recording.
Yeah. He just goes.
If he leaves, he's leaving us with the audio.
Yeah.
Does it get more dangerous than that for us?
I think we get a call from his agent. Yeah. Maybe we get threatened with our kneecaps being broken. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or we get threatened with legal action.
Yeah. And then we have to go to court.
Yeah.
You know, I say I'm not going. That's annoying to me.
I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm busy. You've been on the podcast. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I think it's for the press junk kind of thing. Chances are we would be blacklisted.
Yes, yeah. I think it would be both bad and good for our career.
Yeah.
It'd be good if we didn't want to do that as our career.
It'd be good if we didn't want baseless speculation to exist ever again, but we maybe wanted our names on the internet.
Yeah. Well, hey. The next email comes from Raph. Joel, and there's a message for each of us. Joel Dusha, I'm a professional theater director, and you're wrong that directing a play is easy. Hold on. However, you are correct in that you should not respect anyone who does it. Joel Zammit, I had a baby around the same time that Johnny Baby came onto the scene. Yes. My son has listened to many hours of Plumbing the Death Star, JBSA, and Baseless Speculation with me, and unfortunately is very stupid now. However, he seems to particularly enjoy the episodes that have Johnny Baby in them.
Oh, that's good.
So I can only assume that Johnny Baby is hosting his own simultaneous podcast for babies.
That makes sense.
Makes sense. Well, again, if you sign up to Bad Brain Boys Plus and the most recent Play / Ruin, a certain little Johnny Baby guest stars as
there throughout the whole thing.
He's a character for a bit.
It was very funny editing any episode that Johnny Baby's in, because I'll get into the sort of like that flow state of editing, and then I'll be like,
what was
who's
that sound?
Screaming? What the fuck?
There's
a
a baby
in the studio. Because it's like nothing for ages, then you just hear, and you're like, what?
What was that?
Is my house haunted?
Better call the Warrens.
And then you get a book called Jackson, the Haunting.
Jackson has a baby in him.
The baby made me do it. And then to me, the only thing I have for you, Jackson, is that when we saw you guys live in London, my partner leaned over to me and said, I didn't know Jackson was such a fey little elf man, complimentary. Most people say gnome, but I'll take elf man.
Yeah.
Danny elf man.
What do we think about that? I think good things.
Yeah.
I don't think good things. I'm pretty sure Danny Elfman.
I think he's also no good.
Similar vibes from previous people we've been talking about.
Let me just double check. Danny Elfman. Oh, no.
Oh, dear, dude.
I mean, he looks like a clown.
Yeah. That's true. And then finally, this is from Jessica. I've been frustrated about this since whenever you did the Five Nights at Freddy's episode a year or so ago. And I thought somebody would have yelled at you about this by now, but no one has. So here I am. The Jack Black Five Nights at Freddy's song that Jackson sang wrong is actually the Living Tombstone Five Nights at Freddy's 1 song, which actually played in the credits of the movie. And that song sounds slightly more like how Jackson sang it.
Can I just get the name of that artist?
The Living Tombstone.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
But I don't know which Five Nights at Freddy's song they're even talking about. But more importantly, the dun 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 stunt tune that Jackson sang and Dusha claimed he made up is actually the Toreador March, and he just forgot the first 5 notes, which is why it sounds fake. And Dusha, as a footy fan, you should know this song well because it's the backing track of the Geelong Cats theme. Anyway, the new Five Nights at Freddy's game came out a few days ago and implies that maybe possibly William Afton cucked another guy then killed his son. I think that killed his child. Do you think that'll happen in the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Keep on trucking, BS boys, from Jessica.
Jessica, first of all, thanks for the email. Second of all, let's just check this real quick. Okay, so Jackson's I can see from his face that he's about to claim that he's accurate.
Which song that I love to sing do they mean?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Pretty sure.
Or the bump.
Hang on. No.
She's...
Five Nights at Freddy's.
No,
it does sound
That's
similar.
where I wanna be.
I will say...
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
Because Jackson has memory of
Jack Black doing the gritty. He's doing the gritty and singing
Jack
it.
Black
I know.
Five Nights at Freddy's. He can't do the gritty sitting
and
down.
also in that video that Jackson remembers, 1, not doing the gritty. 2, he doesn't sing it like that. And you'll just take it. You're claiming this is the song you're singing just because of the inflection on Freddy's. It's set at a different speed. They don't repeat Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's way slower.
I guess it would be my take on it then.
Yeah. And yeah, no one's...
Jessica, what have you done?
I'd say it's my
Also,
take.
the made-up song. Oh,
I
I don't even know if that's the song you were
That's a
singing.
new song, dude. That's not... What is it? Wah, 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 wah. It's like that, sort of.
Like, is it... Yeah, you're wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's from like a Chuck E. Cheese or like a Chuck E. Cheese, like proxy in like a Rugrats film or
Well,
something
that's
like
what
that.
Freddy is.
You know
He
what
is
I
a
mean?
Chuck E. Cheese
I know,
proxy.
I know. It's
Okay, yeah. I feel like we're getting too far away from the fact that you still have made up songs and keep claiming they're part of a thing they're not.
Yeah.
But it is cool that Jackson sung a song.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
And like it's a catchy one too.
Yeah.
How he does it.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's
Five
where
Nights
I
at
want to be.
Freddy's.
Five Nights
Now
at
you've
Freddy's.
changed it. You've changed his own
Well, just
song.
because I've learned the next line in the song. The next line of the song is "That's where I want to be." So now I've learned
so
it.
he's evolving.
So I'm adding. This an exciting development for me.
Yeah.
That
What do
I
you
can
think
add
about
that
it?
to the song.
Like his repertoire. Of
To my
music.
repertoire of music. Well, if you want to send us an email, and I implore you, please do. You can send that to bsboyspod@gmail.com. We'll read it out in the episode. Like
And
we
it'll be
just
really
fucking
good.
Dude. It'll
Yeah.
probably spark an argument, or we'll call someone a pedophile.
Yeah.
The two cornerstones of the Baseless Speculation podcast.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's really the current state of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
Things are
corners
either
are like
bad or someone's a pedophile.
bad pedophile. Let's cause an argument.
Yeah.
This is slop.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's a room.
That's a
the
room.
BS Boys State of the Movies room.
That's beautiful.
This room sucks.
Yeah, it's a bad room.
Yeah.
There's black mold.
Yeah.
Probably haunted.
Yeah.
Call the Warrens.
Yeah, get 'em in here.
That gets all four.
That's true. Wow,
Yeah.
that's true.
That is true. And on that note, I've been Joe.
I've been Jackson.
And I've also been Joe.
And this has been another episode of Baseless Speculation, and we've been the BS Boys. Unless you're a lawyer, then we've been the Weekly Planet.
Clever. Good.
Smart move.
Smart
Smart move.
We've all been James and Meso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except me, I've been Dave Warnicky.
Nice.
Got it.
Nice.
Yeah, take that 2 other podcasts.
yeah.